comments?
Well, actually, that makes a lot of, excuse me, a lot of sense to me, because I always wonder, I made a goal that I was going to meditate every day. I made this goal about 3 weeks ago, and I've done it twice. And you know, and I keep thinking, but it feels so good, you know, I feel so good afterward. What stops me? And you know, ego makes perfect sense. So now maybe if I think of it this way, it might be easier to overcome that and do what it is I want to do.
The resistance, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, Erica, that's a great statement, because that was the first word that came to me, was meditative state. Because a meditative state can take you out into the cosmos, and can take you out into the galaxies, and can take, you know, put you in a place that, like my daughter said, this is the best LSD trip I've ever had. So, not that she ever had it. She kind of saw others talk about it and everything, but she said, this is better than anything that they've mentioned. So,
one of my teachers taught me that ego is EGO, edging God out.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Edging God out. Yeah, absolutely perfect. Yeah. So, anyway, it's just, and I do feel that there are times that he, meaning the voice, which even though it never identifies itself as Jesus, from the examples that it gives, you know it's Jesus, the person who had the lifetime as Jesus. But there are times where I feel he just bashes the ego, and again, I've mentioned this before, that one of my very dear spiritual leaders, Dee Fano, told us, make the ego your amigo. She is, and that kind of gave me a different slant on it too. Don't be afraid of it. Don't challenge it. Just say, I understand where you're coming from, but this is what I want to do now. Or, this is who I am now. And especially when it comes to matters of forgiveness. Because forgiveness, there's not a single one of us that doesn't have huge areas that we've had at some point in our life that we don't have, you know, at least one person in our life to forgive. And that's just ask for all the spiritual help that you need to go there with that. Okay, and Dawn, you're going to read number 3.
Oh, okay. Any thought system that confuses God and the body must be insane. Yet this confusion is essential to the ego, which judges only in terms of threat or non-threat to itself. In one sense, the ego's fear of God is at least logical, since the idea of him does dispel the ego. But fear of the body, with which the ego identifies so closely, makes no sense at all.
Okay. That last sentence, but fear of the body with which the ego identifies so closely makes no sense at all. It'll be explained a little bit later, but this is the first time that he kind of introduces the concept that the ego doesn't like the body and is afraid of the body. It doesn't really feel the body is good enough for it. So that, and yet, this is why when it says, the first sentence, any thought system that confuses God and the body must be insane. He will reiterate that about 5 times throughout the course. The ego is insane. And those 4 words have actually helped me kind of regain my sanity anytime I was in a place where I was listening to somebody say something or act out in a certain manner that where you were, as a witness to what was happening, I knew that that person was very, very threatened on some level, but the person himself that was acting out didn't feel that way at all. He felt he was on a power trip. And so and this can be this can also apply to something so totally simple, like having your boss yell at you, or having your spouse react in anger at something you do. Your ego might instantly recoil and say, you don't have the right to do that. But I know positively, you can't control another person's actions, but you can control your own attitude. So by controlling your attitude towards something, towards anything that happens to you, you can keep your peace, no matter what. And all total, that's been probably the quest of my life, is to keep my peace. So, anybody else?
You know, I had a question, I don't know if this is, I mean, I'm new, so maybe that's why I have this question, but, you know, when there's the talk of spirit, it attributes it to like the greater body being God, right? Each one of us has a spirit, has a piece of God. Well, each one of us
We are a
has,
piece of God.
right, so each one of us has this ego, right? So what's the derivation of ego? Is that just like human culture? I mean, like, what's the, do you know what I mean? Like, what's the big, huge, what is the mass ego that it's, each one of us obviously is building this ego through our experience due to the things that happen to us. But what's the derivation of ego? Is there one?
Derivation, you mean the exact meaning?
No.
Where did it
Where
come
does,
from?
what's the
source? Why does it
Spirit.
exist?
If my spirit source is God,
Okay.
what is my ego's source, if there is one?
Yes, okay, I got it. When you chose to come to planet Earth, this is one of the most densest places in the universe, the third dimension. And there's probably billions of planets out there that are equally as dense, but there's also billions and billions and billions that are more enlightened. So when you choose to come to the third dimension, you choose to have complete amnesia from where you came. So therefore, you choose to forget that you're a little piece of God. And your whole life's journey is to help you remember that. So the ego is basically, it's something that you made for yourself to help you negotiate through a 3D existence.
Yes, it comes from the fall of man into
Exactly.
matter from spirit.
Exactly.
Why in the world would we ever choose to do something?
That's a really good question.
Right.
That's correct.
That's insane to choose.
Okay.
On camera, answer it.
Oh yeah, for the evolution of your soul. And this is what people don't understand. Spirit is one. There is one soul that was created, because there is one spirit. But soul fragmented into trillions.
Like a broken mirror, you said?
Exactly. Just like a broken mirror. You can pick up a shard of a broken mirror, it's still a mirror. You can pick up a drop of the ocean, it's still the ocean. And
Or-
that's what you have to kind of
Or
think.
maybe better, it's the holographic model, that you can snip a hologram into tinier pieces and you still get the same original image.
Exactly, exactly. So that's, and so, you know, when you agree to take this journey, to actually leave the comfort of God, because there are beings that look down on us and they see what we go through and they go, no way. There's just no way that they're going to effectively agree to go through some of the hardships that we go through. It's too difficult.
But it would be good for them if they did.
If they choose to. Everything is choice. Everything is choice. You have a choice of coming here or not. And so they kind of, when you come here, then your soul evolves. Every single point in your soul. And just because you choose, again, a lifetime of degradation, like a Bowery bum, like an alcoholic,